A rough weekend for the Kansas City Stars as they lost a couple of games to the Wichita Thunder. We'll recap last weekend's actions and see what positives the Stars can take from those games going into the remainder of the season. Stars will be back in action at home at the Kansas City Ice Center this weekend. We'll preview their very much improved opponent, the Oklahoma City Junior Warriors. We'll have highlights from last weekend's games and also my conversations with Stars forwards Gavin Almany and Gavin Pasko. That and more on this episode of the Kansas City Stars High School Hockey Podcast. Welcome to another episode of the Kansas City Stars High School Hockey Podcast. I am your host, Rob Plamondon. Thank you for joining. As always, just a couple reminders. Please hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Turn on notifications and let us know what you think in the comments below. Well, the Stars traveled down to Wichita last weekend, and it was a bit of a rough going as the Stars lost a couple of games by scores of 8-2 and 2-0 to the three-time defending league champion Wichita Thunder. Probably, as I go through this, not so focused on what happened on the scoreboard. When you play a team like Wichita, things like that tend to happen, but focus on what the Stars did well, things that they can take away from these games that will help them going forward through the rest of the season, and look at the things where there still needs to be areas of improvement, things where some breakdowns that occurred, areas that I think they're going to need to improve on too as they move through the remainder of the season. General impressions of these two games. First of all, I thought they skated well. They were playing on the Olympic-size ice, and a fast team like Wichita tends to utilize the extra space extremely well. And I thought the Stars, for the most part, did a pretty good job of forcing the Thunder to the outside of the ice as they were bringing the puck into the Stars zone. I thought they did a good job of protecting the slot area, keeping the puck more toward the circles or outside the circles and down low as opposed to in front of the net. Good job in the back check, not yet letting the Wichita players get behind them. I thought there were very few odd man rushes, and I'm trying to think if there was even a clean breakaway by Wichita. I can't think of one. There was a 2-on-1 early in the second period here where Napier had to make a nice save. But other than that, I thought that the Stars did a pretty good job of getting back on defense and preventing the 2-on-1s and the 3-on-2s. Stars did get off to a really good start on Saturday. Luke Gressel scoring in the first minute of the game to give the Stars a 1-0 lead. Unfortunately, the Thunder were able to tie it later in the game, and what really hurt the Stars in both games were penalties. Wichita had 5 power play goals, 3 in the first game. Both their goals on Sunday came on the power play, and it's just something the Stars did not do very well on, is killing the power play. I think they had 7 penalty kills. I could be wrong, but as of right now, they haven't posted the games on the league website, so I don't know exact power play count, but I believe it was Wichita was 5 of 7, which the Stars obviously need to clean that up in the penalty kill. And there were a few moments where the Stars kind of went into what I'll call spectator mode. On Wichita's first goal, Clayton Riddle set up right in front of the net. Nobody got a body on him. Nobody challenged him. He took a pass and was able to beat Gavin Napier. Nathan Zane had a couple of goals where he was just able to skate freely wherever he wanted to go, and nobody really picked him up. On this play, Toby House will pick up the puck near center. He'll just skate it end to end and pick up a goal. This one, late in the second period. So there were some times there where the Stars just kind of fell asleep, I guess, or just went into again what I'll call spectator mode. They did have some good chances. Luke Gressel with this chance here. In the first period, Gavin Almany had a nice chance on a turnover in the Wichita zone, but a nice save by Drazik Brooks. Weston Glendenning had a good opportunity here. Ellis Zabilski off a face-off here. A couple of good opportunities trying to stuff the puck past Brooks, but Brooks was tough. He made some really nice saves. Truett Spiker did get a goal late in the game. Unfortunately, we don't have the video. The camera was not pointed at the goal, but if I can get a video of it, I'll post it here on a future episode here. Gavin Napier had some nice saves. The aforementioned 2-on-1 early in the second period. Also, this save on Dylan Roberts. And a nice poke check on a play where Tucker Crawley took the puck, was cutting toward the net, and Napier got his stick out there and poked it away very nicely. But a couple garbage goals at the end for Wichita, which made it the 8-2 final. Again, I'm not going to dwell too much on what was on the scoreboard and really focus more on the positives that the Stars can take from this game going into the remainder of the schedule. Sunday's game, I thought a lot like the first game. The Stars skated well up and down the ice, got back on defense well, good in the transition, good shot blocking. But again, penalties. Penalties hurt in this game. Both Wichita goals, which came in the second period, came on the power play. One thing I did notice, and this is really for both sides, is just didn't seem as much energy. I don't know if the kids were tired, but both sides just didn't seem to have the same kind of energy they did on Saturday. Don't know whether or not that impacted the game or not, but again, those penalties were just absolutely killer for the Stars. A couple plays where the Stars got a little bit bunched up and let the Wichita players in all alone. Napier had to make some nice saves there. Some good offensive chances for the Stars. In this one here, James Gorder and Truett Spiker with the opportunity. Gorder would have another chance just a few minutes later in the period. Glenn Denning taking a pass from Gorder. Gavin Pasko, who was serving a minor penalty at the time, just coming out of the box, getting this scoring opportunity, and Luke Gressel on a breakaway. Unfortunately, a nice save by Brooks. He had another chance just moments later with Jacob Paulson, in which Brooks made a nice save as well. On the defensive end, a little lazy play at the end of the first period where the puck went down the ice and one of the Wichita players picked it up, and it kind of reminded me of a goal that Mark Johnson scored in the 1980 Winter Olympics against the Soviet Union right at the end of the first period. And fortunately for the Stars, the result was different. It didn't end up in a goal, but a play that certainly could have very easily ended up in the back of the Stars' net. Roberts on the power play from behind the net. No one picks him up, and Napier has to make a nice save here. Roberts again with an opportunity and a nice save. This game got a little chippy in the second period, and I think it started by this hit by Jackson Tillery on one of the Thunder players. He was assessed a 2-minute minor and a 10-minute misconduct. Well, I think the penalty was warranted. I'm not so sure it warranted a 10-minute minor, but nonetheless, that was the call. Tristan Pryor got tied up with one of the Thunder right in front of the goal crease, and what looked like it might have been the third Wichita goal. There were a couple other offsetting penalties that were assessed. On this play, one of the Wichita players bumps Brody Hicks as he's coming on the ice, and he gets sent to the box for 2 minutes. I thought that was a bit of a weak call, but maybe given what was going on, the referee felt he needed to make sure he didn't lose control of the game. In fact, the penalty box got so full that Michelle Gressel took a nice selfie of the kids in the penalty box. But the Stars just not able to get the puck past Brooks. Late power play, couldn't capitalize on that. Pulling the goalie in the last minute and a half, not able to capitalize on that. And unfortunately, the Stars not able to find the back of the net on Sunday and losing that game 2-0. The JV teams were also in action over the weekend. Bit of rough sledding for the JV1 as they hosted the Northwest Arkansas Ice Hogs. and falling in those games by scores of 7-1 and 6-1. JV2 didn't fare much better. They were down in Wichita with the Varsity and struggled in those games, losing 10-0 on Saturday and 3-1 on Sunday. JV3, however, did pick up a couple of points over the weekend, both ties. On Friday, a 5-5 tie against the Knights JV1, and on Sunday, a 2-2 tie against the looks like it was Knights JV2. I'm sorry, Knights JV1 on Friday, a 5-5 tie, and the Knights JV2 a 2-2 tie on Sunday. When we return, we'll preview next weekend's games against the surging and much improved Oklahoma City Junior Warriors on the Kansas City Stars High School Hockey Podcast. Well, the Stars are back in action at home this weekend at the Kansas City Ice Center to host a couple of games against the very much improved Oklahoma City Junior Warriors. These two teams met earlier in the year in the preseason jamboree. It was the Stars winning at 2-0, but a very closely contested game, and the Stars put a lot of shots on goal in order to get that 2-0 win, and Gavin Napier was outstanding in goal as he turned away a number of the Junior Warriors shots. This is a team that comes off a season where they only won 2 games a year ago. They had a record of 2 wins, 18 losses, and 2 ties. They only scored 31 goals, and in those 2 categories, only St. Joe finished lower in the standings, and St. Joe doesn't even have a varsity team this year. So, but this year's team so far very, very much improved. So far this season, they've already doubled their win total from a year ago. They're off to a 4-1-1 start this year. And granted, maybe not having the toughest schedule, but given where they were a year ago, a very much improved team. They've already scored 16 goals, more than half the number of goals they scored all of last year in 22 games. So this is a very much improved version of the Junior Warriors. It's certainly a team that the Stars are going to have to be at their best if they want to come out with a couple of wins. They only lost 2 players from a year ago to graduation, but one of them was their leading scorer, Alex Major. So they'll need a number of their returning players to step up and produce. Major last year accounted for 36% of their offense, but so far this year, a couple of their players have stepped up. Connor Waymuller, who last year only had 4 points, already this year with 5 goals and 2 assists. Cade Harlan's off to a hot start. He has 3 goals and 3 assists so far through 6 games. He was not on the roster last year, so he's a new player to this team. Also, Bruce Burney with 3 goals. Lane Pittenger with 2 goals. And they already have 6 players who have scored this year. So I think you're going to see a much more improved team, and certainly a team that is going to be better top to bottom, and a team that's not going to necessarily drop off when they put their second and third lines on the ice. So the Stars are going to have to be able to play a full 45 minutes. And I think, too, if you look back to the Wichita game, some of the mistakes they made, if they can clean that up, stay out of the penalty box, not have those kind of lapses where they start puck watching, or what I'll call spectator mode, I think that's going to be important. Protect the house, keep the puck out of the slot area, force them in wide. I think the Stars can be successful if they can do those things. On the defensive end, in goal, a couple of new goalies for the Warriors this year, Jacob Spencer and Tucker Purcell, and so far they have split the goaltending duties, playing 3 games apiece. Spencer so far has only given up 3 goals, 1 goal a game. Purcell has a 2.0 goals against average. So they've only given up 9 goals this year. Last year, they gave up 86 goals. So they're not only improved on offense, they're certainly improved on the defensive end of the ice too. So I think this is going to be a good test for the Stars. Certainly a different type of test than what they maybe saw in the last couple weekends. And I think it's going to be important here for the Stars to come away with a couple of victories. And I think if they clean up some of the things they did, if they skate like they did against Wichita, clean up some of the mistakes, protect the puck, don't turn it over in front of your own net, don't have those spectator mode instances where players skate around you and do whatever they want without being contested or without having a body put on them. I think the Stars can be successful. But I think it's going to be a good weekend, and I look forward to seeing these two teams play. Game times this weekend, Saturday at 6:40 p.m. and Sunday afternoon at 2:10 p.m. Hopefully you can make it out to Kansas City Ice Center. If not, you can watch the games live on the Kansas City Stars YouTube channel. Junior varsity teams will also be in action this weekend. JV1 will be hosting the Wichita JV team. The Junior Thunder will be in town for a couple of games. JV2 will be hosting the Springfield Spirit at KC Ice Center for a couple of games. And the JV3 team will be hosting on Friday night the Kansas City Knights JV2, and then Sunday we'll be heading up to St. Joe, Dabodi Ice Arena, to take on the St. Joseph Griffins. Up next, my conversation with Stars forwards Gavin Almany and Gavin Pasko on the Kansas City Stars High School Hockey Podcast. And I'm now joined by Stars forwards Gavin Almany and Gavin Pasko. Gentlemen, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Thank you. All right, well, welcome again. And I've got two of the Gavins, and I don't know how many Gavins are on the team, but there's it seems like there's a bunch of you.
We got three.
Three of it. Okay. All right. Well, anyways, so first of all, tough weekend against the Thunder last weekend, but there's probably some positives you can draw from those games. What do you take away from those games, and how can it help you as the season goes on?
I mean, those are the games we get better from. We had a right mentality. It's just staying focused.
It's good. I think it's good to play those like top teams. It gets us in the mindset of like we're gonna be having like a hard schedule this season. Like we need to work very hard to get where we want to be at.
We have our work cut out for us.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Oklahoma City comes to town, and they are a much improved version from what we saw a year ago. You did beat them in the Jamboree 2-0. What do you expect from them, and what do you need to do to come away with a couple of wins this weekend?
We need to clean up our D zone. We need to watch the guy that's in front of the net.
Yeah.
They have, 'cause that's how they scored most of their goals last weekend.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that we struggled with in Wichita.
Yeah, definitely a big thing. Make sure we're passing, playing the body. Make sure to cut off their passing lanes because that is a big thing for their team. And like Gavin said, they usually I think it was 4 out of 6 of their goals last weekend were scored because nobody was picking up the man in front of the net. So that's just something we got to do this weekend.
Yeah. In addition to that, you're 6 games into the season. What do you think you still need to improve on as you go through the season and to give yourself a chance to contend for the league championship?
I think we need to focus on playing a full game of hockey instead of taking a period off and then having to come back within a few minutes. We need to play the game out
I think
entirely.
there's still a lot of new guys on the team and stuff, so we're still getting used to everything, moving some lines around every game. But I just feel like we just got to work. We got to get our set lines and just work together as a line, as a team.
Yeah. Well, both of you have dads. We're going to have a little bit of fun here at the expense of your dads here. So both of you had dads that were coaches. You played for your dads. First of all, how was that?
Rough.
I think it was pretty cool. It was cool having some constructive criticism from a first-hand person on the ice.
Mm-hmm.
Especially people that have played hockey for many years of their life.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, were they harder on you, or were you just another one of the kids on the team?
I think they're harder on us for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you had a lot of those car rides home from practices and games where they're telling you what you can do better and stuff. But it was in the end, it was fun. It was a good experience.
So, if you had a preference, would you want to play for your dad or not play for your dad, or does it really matter?
I think when we were younger in Bantam, it was perfect, but not in high school.
Yeah, I'd definitely, if I was still playing defense, I would definitely play with my dad since he has the experience in college and stuff.
Yeah, well, good. That fun times, obviously, and you guys have done great there. What are your favorite hockey moments? That could be any memory or any. It doesn't have to be from high school. It can be from any time in your hockey career.
I gotta say, last year when JV came in and beat Wichita 1-0, that was one of the best feelings ever because that was a top team that you're getting a shutout on. So that's a pretty good feeling.
I liked going to Chicago last year because I've always wanted to go there and going there for hockey. It's 2 positives for sure.
And you got to experience a nice Chicago winter too.
Yeah, that's true.
And final question for you: what are your plans after high school? And do you have any plans to keep playing hockey?
I'm going to K-State, and for hockey, just doing beer league.
Right.
Definitely going to do beer league. Might try to play at KU, but I'm going to the Bahamas to work for the summer.
Wow.
This summer. So I'm excited for that.
Well, that sounds like a lot of fun. All right, well, guys, hey, good luck this weekend against the Junior Warriors, and good luck the rest of the season. Thanks for joining the podcast. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. And that'll do it for another episode of the Kansas City Stars High School Hockey Podcast. A quick thanks to our sponsor for this video, Signature Landscape, and for their support of Kansas City Stars Youth Hockey. Also, a quick call out to Jason Pryor for streaming last weekend's games in Wichita. And thanks to you for watching. We hope to see you soon on another episode of the Kansas City Stars High School Hockey Podcast.